Hello students, welcome to Bhutan e-learning project. I am Pema Yangdun. This is English lesson on tenses for key stages 3 to 5. To start with my lesson today, let us look here. What is the man doing? Yes? The man is walking. Okay, correct. The man is walking. Now look at me, okay? Now, what did I do? Students, did you observe my action? What did I do? Will you still say that Madam is walking? Or can I say that I am walking? No, because I'm standing here now. I have stopped walking. I'm standing here and speaking to you all. Now, let us look at another picture here. What is the girl doing? Is she walking? Or is she reading? No, she is thinking. Right, she is thinking. What is she thinking? I will go for a walk tomorrow. Yes, I will go for a walk tomorrow. She is thinking something about future. So, the three actions that we looked just now, it describes same thing, but it indicates different time. The first animation of the man walking describes what is happening at the moment. And the second action that I performed describes what has already happened. And finally, the picture of the girl thinking describes what will happen in the future. What is a tense? A tense is a time described by a verb. Can you repeat with me? A tense is a time described by the verb. So now let us look at the importance of tenses. There is no denying the fact that the English language is one of the dominant languages of the world, and it is necessary to develop effective communication skills both in spoken and in written forms. And for this, concept about tenses and its usage is a must for all. Since there are three different types of tenses, past, present and future, you will be taken through each of the tenses in three different lessons so that it will not be taxing for you to understand all of them in one go. Each of these tenses is actually verbs, regular and irregular verbs, that are used to indicate the occurrence of an event or an action at a particular time. For today, let us learn and understand more about the present tense and its different form. Present tense describes an action that is happening at the present moment. Let us look at here. A boy is running. The dog is barking. Baby is sleeping. Besides knowing about the present tense, there are four different forms of present tense that we will be looking at it in detail. Now, do you know what are the four different forms of present tense? The four different forms of present tense are simple present, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous tense. The first form of present tense is simple present tense. Simple present tense expresses an action that happens regularly or a universal truth. Now to use simple present, we have the rule here, that is subject plus verb. But when the subject of a sentence is in third person singular, you use s or es form of the verb. Now let us look at some examples. Students learn through BBS every day. Students here is the subject plus learn is verb in this sentence. So as per the rule, we have subject plus verb. Students learn through BBS every day, and this is a habitual action. Second example, honey is sweet. It is a universal truth that we know honey is sweet. Now, when the subject of a sentence is in third person singular form, like he, she, it, as reflected in the rule, the verb takes s or es. Now let us look at the example here. He drives a car or he drives a car. So which is correct as per the rule when the subject is in third person singular? He drives a car, because in the rule it says that if the subject of a sentence is in third person singular and we have the subject as third person here, he, so therefore the verb is in es form, drives. He drives a car. When the subject is again in third person form, like she, we have the example here, she washes her clothes or she washed her clothes. So here the correct form is she washes her clothes. And finally, it eats rice or it eats rice. So eat here is again third person singular. So the verb here is eats. It eats rice, which is the correct one. When subject of a sentence isn't in third person singular, let us look at few examples again. We go to the song or we goes to the song. So which one is correct here? We go to the song is correct because the subject here is we and we is not third person. So we go to the song is correct. Second, I read every evening or I read every evening. Which is correct? I read every evening is correct because the subject is not in third person singular, and when it is only when the subject is in third person singular that the verb will take either s or es form. So I read every evening is the correct example. The second form of present tense is present continuous tense. Present continuous tense expresses an action that is going on at the present moment, at the time of writing or at the time of speaking. So again, to use present continuous tense, we have the rule here, that is subject plus is or am or are plus ing form of the verb. Now let us look at some of the examples again. I am teaching. I here is the subject, am here is the verb, and we have the ing form of the verb, that is teaching. Bhutan is developing. Bhutan subject, then we plus is plus ing form of the verb, that is developing. We are staying at home. Subject as a we plus are plus again ing form of the verb staying. So next, I'm not going to say anything. Instead, I want you all to focus on the pictures here and write the sentences. A girl is singing. A doctor is checking his patient. The children are playing. Birds are flying. Now let us look at the third form of present tense, that is present perfect tense. Present perfect tense expresses an action that has just been completed. Now look at the rules here. Subject plus have or has plus past participle form of the verb. Example, I have finished my project. I here is subject plus we have and then the past participle form of verb finished. So I have finished my project is an example of present perfect tense. The plane has just landed. Again we have the subject, the plane, plus has, plus landed, the past participle form of the verb. Now to understand more about present perfect tense, let us look at the examples here. You have to convert the following into present perfect. I study English. So you have to convert this sentence into present perfect tense, and the first one here has been done for you as an example. I have studied English. So here we have I study English. Now you have changed it into present perfect tense. I have studied English. That is how the sentence appears when we apply the rule of present perfect tense here. Now the next activity, let us do it together. They go to America. So how would you convert this into present perfect tense applying the rules? The rule says subject plus have or has plus past participle form of the verb. Now they go to America. The present perfect form is they have gone to America. Number 3, she eat octopus. Again same here, you have to convert this into present perfect form. She has eaten octopus. Number 4, we read that book. Can you do it? Remember the rule of present perfect tense, that subject plus have or has plus past participle form of the verb. Now applying this rule, we have read that book. When we convert it into present perfect tense, you know Tenzin for 20 years. So we have here converted into present perfect tense. You have known Tenzin for 20 years. Number 6, I lose my books. So can you think of how we can have this into present perfect tense? Remember the rule, subject plus have or has plus past participle form of the verb. And when we apply this rule, we have I have lost my books as an example of present perfect tense. Number 7, she passed the exam. Again, can you remember the rule here? Subject plus have or has plus past participle form of the verb. And when we have this rule applied, she has passed the exam is the present perfect tense. Now, having done this activity, I hope you are clear with present perfect tense and its usage, and you are very aware with the rules of it. The fourth form of present tense is present perfect continuous tense. So what is present perfect continuous tense? Present perfect continuous tense expresses an action that had begun in the past and is still going on. It usually emphasizes the duration or the amount of time that an action has been taking place. Now, similar to the other three forms, again in this the fourth form, present perfect continuous tense, we have the rules that we have to keep in mind, and that is subject plus have or has plus been plus ing form of the verb. You have to remember this verb in order to have the correct form of present perfect continuous tense. Let us look at some of the examples again. I have been working as a teacher for the last 6 years. This is an example of present perfect continuous tense because we have here the rule subject, that is I, plus have plus been plus ing form of the verb working. So I have been working as a teacher for the last 6 years. This is the example of present perfect continuous tense. And the second example, she has been reading for 7 hours. Again, see, we have applied the rule here. She, we have the subject. Then we have has plus been plus reading, that is ing form of the verb. So okay, this is the fourth form of present tense, present perfect continuous tense. And for more understanding or to check your understanding of this form, let us go through some of the activities I have here. We will do the activities together. Is that okay? So I have the activity here. Make the following into present continuous tense. Number 1. I stand here for 15 minutes. In the parenthesis, we have the verb stand. So when you apply the rule of present perfect tense, that is subject plus have or has plus been plus ing form of the verb, how will you change it into, how will you convert this into present perfect continuous? I have been standing for 15 minutes. So we have this sentence after applying the rule. Number 2. Pema read all day. Again in the parenthesis we have the verb read here. So let us see how it becomes present perfect continuous tense after applying the rule. Okay? Pema has been reading all day. See here we have the subject Pema plus has that plus been, and then we have the ing form of the verb reading. Pema has been reading all day. He play football, so he's tired. Can anyone try the answer for this? Apply the rule that we looked at earlier. Yes? He has been playing football, so he's tired. Look here, we have the subject followed by has, then been, and finally we have ing form of the verb in the parenthesis play as playing. They learn Korean for 2 years. They have been learning Korean for 2 years is the correct one when we make into the present continuous tense, because we have the subject here plus have plus been plus ing form of the verb learning. So they have been learning Korean for 2 years. And the final one, it rain, so the pavement is wet. It rain, so the pavement is wet. It has been raining, so the pavement is wet. This is the correct form of present perfect continuous tense, because if you look at this sentence, you will see that we have the subject followed by has or have plus been plus ing form of the verb. So this is the present perfect continuous tense. I hope you enjoyed doing this activity. Did you? Let us quickly review what we have learned in our today's lesson on present tense and its form. Here is the lesson at a glance. So look at that table. We have learned about present tense, and you know that present tense is an action that is happening at the present moment. And under present tense there are 4 forms: simple present, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous tense. And to have to use the four forms correctly, we even looked at the rules. And for the simple present, the rule is subject plus verb. But in the exceptional cases, when the subject of the sentence is in third person singular form like he, she, it, you have to use e or es form of the verb. And you can see the example, I watch TV. I is not third person singular, so we have the verb here as watch. Whereas in the second example, he watches TV. See, here the verb is in es form. Why? Because subject he here is a third person singular. Now in the second present continuous tense, the rule we have to remember or keep in our mind is subject plus is, am, are plus ing form of verb. And you can see the example, she is watching TV. Present perfect, the third form of present tense. Subject plus have or has plus past participle form of the verb. And you can look at the example. She has watched TV. The subject here is she plus has plus we have used the past participle form of the verb, that is watched. And the fourth form, present perfect continuous tense, subject plus have or has plus been plus ing form is the rule that you have to remember while you are using present perfect continuous tense. And you can look at the example here. She has been watching TV for an hour. See here how the rule is being applied. She here is the subject plus we have has plus been plus watching, which is the ing form of the verb. Now with this I conclude my lesson on present tense and its four forms. And to check whether I have achieved the objective that I have in my mind for today's lesson, let me ask you one question. Now, can you differentiate between the four forms of present tense? Yes? If you are able to differentiate the four forms of present tense, then I have or we have achieved our lesson objective today. That is, differentiate four forms of present tense based on its degree of completeness. Will you be able to use the four forms correctly hereafter? And if you are able to use these four forms correctly hereafter by referring to the rules or by remembering the rules, then again we have achieved the second objective of today's lesson. Now, to check your further understanding of today's lesson, I have here an assessment part for you all. You have to carry on with this assessment and then submit to your English teacher for feedbacks and suggestions. Is that clear? Will you do this, my dear students? Now the first assessment for class 7 and 8. Read any essay or story from your reading and literature book. Identify and write down 3 examples of the 4 forms of present tense. And the second assessment, read any essay or story from your reading and literature book. Then you have to note down any 3 appropriate sentences from it and change them into 4 forms of present tense. Thank you.